Howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, and in my last episode, I started a lot of work, or I completed a lot of work on a trail that will ascend kind of this hill here. This bit is a bit rocky, or a bit rough, but on the whole, as the grass grows in, I'll be able to kind of put trail pieces in and have this connect to the bridge back that way. Now, one thing I realized in the process of doing this, though, is that in the actual film Field of Dreams, there's a driveway that would kind of come right along here, where this little kind of creek is. And that got me to thinking, well, you know, I could actually connect something maybe through this pass. And this would actually be a really Oregon Trail-y pass, too. So, you know, maybe I could add a fork right here and have that kind of continue up this way. Kind of like having it go through this valley here too, although there's lava, which I don't like moving because that's a natural feature that has kind of some interesting visuals to it. And then there's also this dark area, which really I should probably light either way because it's so close to the other part of the trail and there will be stuff spawning here. But like, I don't know, so I could kind of have that fork this way, come up and around the lava. We're still well outside of Wells Knight's area here. Kind of come through here, and then this valley is interesting because I don't think I want to hide. Let's go ahead and light this up real quick. I don't think I want to go behind the waterfall. Oh wait, does this connect behind the wall? Oh my goodness, it's a bat cave. It goes behind the waterfall. Okay, so maybe. Zombie! Okay, so I was gonna say, I don't want to go in front of the waterfall here and have this awkward pathway. Let's see if Ren needs a hand. But you know what? Now that I know that this little cave goes through here, maybe what I do is I mine out this cave some, and then build a little treacherous bridge across here. Let's start building a treacherous bridge across here. Let's see, what does that look like? Well, it does look treacherous. Whoops. For sure. And we'll kind of have this be, whoops, wide enough that a horse could cross it, you know, safely. Then we have that kind of come out here next to the waterfall. So what we would actually probably want to do is hew out something along the side here so that it could kind of just follow a path here. So you could see, you'd get the light from like a window with the waterfall, but the actual path would kind of hew this way, right? And it would have to be horse friendly because the whole point of this is that this is a horse trail. Now, I know I promised Wells I wouldn't, like, dig underground too much or too deep into the mountains, but, like, this is a really superficially close mountain to my house, and if this is a problem, we can always fill this in. We have enough smooth stone for years. Like, we are not in immediate peril of running out of smooth stone to fill this in, if it does create some sort of visual or logistical problem for the man. So let's go ahead and hope that good Sir Wells Knight does not have a problem with this, because I'm just hewing through the stone like I'm chewing through the stone. There we go. And so then we kind of maybe have a path that kind of hugs the side of the valley here, or maybe it just goes down to the valley floor. And well, normally you wouldn't want the path exactly on the valley floor, because a lot of times there will be like a little stream or something on the actual valley floor. We might even want to come through here and add a stream with a bucket at some point. So anyway, core concept is we don't want to be straight down here, but we do something. Let's try not to fall like deep into the hole there. Let's just teleport up here. Seems like, you know, you could easily do something where you kind of have this hewn out a bit more here. And so you got this kind of rocky, perilous trail, but it's still fairly manageable. Well, even ignoring this very ugly stairwell made of made a dirt back here that I'm going to have to remove inevitably. For the time being, let's go ahead and see how this pass actually works. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to loop all the way back around up the hill that we had built earlier. I'm realizing, okay, well, this might need to be cleared out. In the meantime, let's go ahead and swing back around the house this way. Normally you wouldn't bring a horse inside the fence to the house. That's bad for them. You don't want to train them to do that. Hey, on the plus side, this is growing pretty well. The fact that it's not all the way grown in, though, is, whoa. There we go. Okay, so we would have our existing path start here. So if we fork it, we would just kind of come this way. Let's put in an extra light here. Come up here. Now, we do have to probably hew this out a little bit, because this is just unsafe how close that is to the lava. I could imagine a lot of people not being too comfortable with it. So, you'd come around here, and then this is where it gets interesting. So then you go through this way. Excellent. There's our bridge. We're not going to fall down there. We've got our waterfall view, which is pretty cool. You can see that bridge there. And then this path kind of clings along the side here. It's still growing in. Might need to make it wider at points. But that kind of just gently lowers and descends to here. And I could probably set up a place to ford the river. But so you actually get a river fording at the end, which is pretty Oregon Trail if you ask me. So I'm happy about that. In the meantime, let's throw our horse back in here. Assuming that I know how to open the gate. Somehow he keeps glitching out. I haven't figured out how yet. But I realize we're also going to need some smooth diorite. Now, some of you guys are probably like, whoa, what do you ever need smooth diorite for? Well, there is a little bit of dirt right there that I wanted to remove. So let's go ahead and climb up here. I think I'd just generally kind of thrown this together when I was building the roof, so I'd have an easy way to get up here to finish it. So, it shouldn't be too much time. Dang it. Unless I, like, you know, accidentally remove the lower part of the stairs first instead of the upper part, which I would like to avoid that situation. There we go. Excellent. And this garden back here, this pumpkin garden, was kind of intended just to be a temporary thing in the short term, because I knew I needed a ton of pumpkins to light my area. And I kind of still do. I'm still thinking about putting green carpet under the baseball field. So I should probably harvest this at least occasionally, because otherwise I'm never going to get more pumpkins, right? So, realistically though, it might be nice to move kind of the vegetable garden type stuff into an area behind the house, maybe. Let's see. Oh, that's just a bunch of seeds. See, I've got some red beetroot over here too from when I needed a bunch of red dye. Uh-oh, looks like the sun's starting to go down. Did we actually get all our pumpkins? We did. Okay, you stay right there. I might need to clean the inside of this building's roof too. Oh, there's actually just a gaping hole right there. Let me see if I can fix that, since I've got this extra diorite anyway. Is there a good way to... Oh, and a gaping hole in the roof here. But that one's intentional. That one's supposed to be there. So let's see. If I wanted to get to where that diorite's missing... Okay, for one thing, I seem to have found a glitch block somewhere. Let's disconnect. Reconnect. Not better. Yeah, kind of better. Okay, good. So let's see. Where was that gap? There it is. And we'll just toss that like so. Perfect. Yeah, so I figure if I put like stripes of green, green carpet kind of along the baseball field, make it look like mown grass or what have you, I could mix in some pumpkins or glowstone underneath the stripes, and that would look good. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and start a new day. And unfortunately, we might have to let the grass grow for a little bit before that over there actually looks right. Because the trail, you know, you can't use the shovel on dirt unless you want less dirt. We don't want less dirt. We want more trail. So, time skip. While all that grass grows in, I was thinking about how this driveway would work. So, like, if you came up here, you know, in the original farm that this is based off of, the driveway comes from way back over there. But it may make sense to kind of have it kind of connect the barns in front here. Like, we don't even have a real trail kind of in front of the barns as is. So, like, if I decided I was going to make it, like, roughly 3 wide, it would kind of go like this. And we'd occasionally hit the wrong things and have to pick them up, put them back down. Wrong thing. Better thing. Boom. You know, so this driveway would generally kind of head or meander. I'm just kind of placing out core concepts here. Kind of generally head this way from that way. Realistically, I don't think anyone who's riding a horse all the way from spawn is going to want to walk around this barn. I think they're going to want to come in between these two barns. So, I think that the best thing that I could logically do here is just to kind of further kind of flesh out this little passage here. Now, I've flattened this partially in the past, and didn't really finish with it because this was not going to be part of the core farming area. But if this is going to be part of the general approach to the building, now, dang it, I'm going to have to adjust that barn too, aren't I? Like, I should probably go ahead and actually come in and wipe all this out. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Let's see. Actually, then, I might leave the grass here the way it is. Or I might remove the stone that I'm taking out here, but put in grass and have the trail kind of go down the hill here. So, have this kind of come like this. Now, we don't want to use all the grass in the front because we're going to want to mix it with the dirt later so it grows faster. And we'll want to pick that grass up from the ground that we already knocked over. Whoops. Excellent. So that already looks a little bit more, I don't know, fancy or whatever. Go ahead and move this guy again. We're just going to keep moving that one torch until we're done with it. And we'll have our trail kind of continue up this way. So there will be a clear kind of path for people coming into the farm from horseback. Now, I don't know how many people are actually ever literally going to do this. This might be something where I'm spending a lot of time on it, and it's just going to be me at the end of one video. But I'm hoping, you know, if you ever download the map, when the season ends, we always do a map download. You know, right out here from spawn, tell me what you thought about it. Actually, that might not be the exact location that I want to have that happen, though. Might want it to be a little bit more kind of from this way. Just kind of looking at it. Yeah, people are more likely to kind of come up here. And we'll have it kind of link up with this. There we go. Great. Already looking better. So, yeah, that's easier to see from down there, too. So for people who are actually down here, we've got this kind of set up, whoa, along here. Grass is definitely coming in quickly, which is nice. I might come back and finish this another day, though, just because there's so much dirt that's going to take time to kind of repopulate into grass. Actually, I might leave that one there as normal grass. Just, dang it, sheep. There's so much livestock over here, which is kind of weird. I guess it just kind of naturally spawned in and then nobody ever, like, hunted it to extinction. But, I mean, I haven't been feeding it. That's just something that happened. So this seems pretty okay, but, like, I feel like we probably just need to, well, make this a bit wider in a few places. Dang it. Not there. And ideally having this high up enough that you're not going to have mobs climbing up would be helpful. Although there's so many places for them to jump down on you from above, it doesn't really matter too much now that I think on it. So I figure I might go ahead and have part of this be grass as well. Like once you kind of get out from under the cave, kind of have that transition into here. But yeah, so let's see what else is going on with me. I got PAX East coming up this week. I just posted a mention about that on my Patreon at patreon.com/JoeHills. And that's not just for patrons, though. If anybody wants to come out and say hello at PAX East, definitely do so. I would be happy to meet you. Let's see what else is going on. We are 3 months into my having a recording space experiment. Now, this is a 6-month lease on this space. And my wife has been very happy with the results so far in terms of how it impacts her study schedule and makes things easier for her at home. which is important because she's a doctoral student in biophysics. That's not a joke. I know it sounds like I talk silly, but I'm not dumb, and my wife is even smarter than me. So, which, I mean, you should always do that. Always marry up if you can. But let's see, what was I going to say? Yeah, so she's been really happy with this experiment. We're halfway through our 6-month lease. But one of the biggest determinants of whether or not we renew the lease is going to likely be how much revenue is coming in. Because even though I like doing this as a fun thing, once you start spending several $100s a month on a lease, you gotta kind of keep in mind your costs and things. So I'm gonna be traveling less this year than I would a lot of years. PAX East I'd already, or not PAX East, PAX South is kind of my last big convention travel for a while, in order to kind of offset some of that cost. But the more that we see people backing me on Patreon, kind of the easier it is to justify more trips because, well, it pays for them. And the more likely I am to be able to renew lease in this space again. Unfortunately, the YouTube revenue at the time of year that the lease will be renewing in, which is like, we'll have to make a decision in like April. This is the slowest part of the year, time of the year for that, for YouTube revenue. Okay, I'm fine. Okay. I'm just gonna walk over here real quick. Okay, I'm cool. I'm calm. I'm collected. April. Basically, the first half of the year is the slowest half for YouTube revenue. And so a lot of the rent so far is going to be paid by Patreon revenue rather than YouTube revenue. Although I do appreciate everybody who watches. You don't ever have to feel like you need to give anything. I'm not in any immediate economic duress, nor am I trying to like guilt you into anything. I'm just letting you know. Everyone who does give is definitely appreciated at patreon.com/JoeHills. We have a monthly book club and a Discord server. And we also have kind of regular chats when there's like big live events, like, for example, when E3 happens, we'll probably have live Discord chats as we watch the presentations from the different studios and stuff. So, if you're into hanging out with other people who might think that my stuff isn't crazy, I'd recommend it. Man, okay. So yeah, that creeper got me good. Well, okay. Well, we'll let this keep growing here. I'm a little nervous about this lava. Just a little bit. I'm thinking maybe I should hem it in a tiny modicum more than it is hemmed in already. There we go. Now we got kind of some natural lighting over here, even when it's dark. Even though creepers are still going to spawn way up there. This is supposed to be the Oregon Trail, though. You can get dysentery. You can get blown up. That's just part of life, and you gotta accept it. But man, okay. Here we go. So, let's see. Yeah. So anyway, besides that, what else is going on? Not too much. It's January. In January, a lot of times is a slow month. People recovering from the holidays and stuff. So, you don't plan anything too crazy. Although Wells and I have been talking about doing another Nashville meetup sometime in February at some point. We need to actually lock down the details on that. But if you guys are in the Nashville area, Wells and I both live around here. And we'd love to hang out with you. We do something like this every few months. And it's usually a pretty good time. We've gone to Cafe Coco in the past. Graphoniac and I have done meetups as well, back when she was in Nashville. She's off in Seattle now at Beam. Congratulations to her on that. But, let's see. This is, it's a pretty good trail. It's a passable, alright, not completely belligerent and gonna blow me up every time I use it trail. So, it's not bad. Probably gonna want to continue it over around here. Kinda have this hook up with this and get some more torches. Yeah, I don't love the torches out here. Have this connect up here, that sort of stuff. But yeah, there we go. little touches of home. And by home, I mean like barns, because I guess this is more of a barn than a home. It's an item home. It's like a bank for items. A barn, because it's a barn and a bank. I need to do something with this interior. Like, I built this into this hill and never ripped it out. So that's going to be on the agenda as well. Let's see here. Kind of clean this up a little bit. Okay, great. Well, so there we go. Got a lot more done today. Just kind of patching up the house. Now, I do want to get to other things in other parts of the server, but for right now, this is just something where I love that trail Wells Knight had, and I just really want one of my own. So I'm probably going to put some cool stuff alongside. If you guys have any suggestions for cool stuff that should go alongside the trail, let me know. Not sure why the moon is doing that. I'm going to go get in bed. That's strange. Moons are not supposed to jump backwards in time. But anyway, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.